Coming up on UT 10 News, a look at how the UT community is helping those who lost everything in the University Circle apartment fire.
And we'll also follow this year's local election.
Plus, Reed Teetsworth was at the Huntington Center as the Toledo Walleye took on the Fort Wayne Comets. Your news in 10 minutes starts now.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Kaylee Lufborough.
And I'm Rachel Schneider. With a full week until the midterm election, people are already casting their votes.
And the issues on this ballot could be bringing more people to the polls. Lucas County Board of Elections Director Lavera Scott says this year's turnout is projected to be 50% of the 303,000 registered voters in the county. That compares to 35% in the 2014 midterm. A little more than 23,000 people voted absentee in 2014. This year, that number has eclipsed 30,000. As for early voting, a little more than 3,600 ballots were cast early 4 years ago. So far this year, more than 4,000.
People are starting to realize that their votes do count, that there have been so many races that have definitely been triggered by a very small percentage of people.
Here's a look at voting deadlines. Polls open November 6th from 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. The Elections Board must receive requests for absentee ballots by mail no later than noon on November 3rd. That's this Saturday. Those ballots must be returned and postmarked no later than November 5th. And absentee ballots can also be returned in person to the board before polls close on election night. Early voting ends November 5th by 2 p.m. Voters will also have the chance to vote on Issue 1 on the upcoming ballot.
This measure will determine whether drug users face prison time for violating their probation. UT 10's Zach Johnston is here with more on what this measure entails. Zach, how will this issue impact Lucas County?
Well, Issue 1 focuses on whether drug offenders should be subject to treatment and education as an alternative to incarceration.
Toledo Municipal Court Judge William Connolly says approving the issue would convert fifth-degree felonies into misdemeanors to negate the possibility of prison for first and second time offenders.
I think that everyone across the state and really across the country is well aware that we need to focus our attention on treatment.
But Captain Richard Grove with the Lucas County Sheriff's Office believes such offenders belong behind bars.
It would be a negative for us because it would take that penalty away. I think it would take away from us doing our job for treatment. You need the carrot and the stick, and you need incarceration to keep people in some treatment.
Now, this issue would also mandate funding to go towards state-administered rehab programs and victim crime funds. Kaylee and Rachel, back to you.
Thanks, Zach. Two of the biggest bills on the ballot aim to provide additional funding for Toledo Public Schools.
TPS says money generated from the levies will strengthen its educational institutions. UT 10's Bailey Lustig has the story.
Issues 5 and 6 aim to help TPS continue its expansions in educational programs.
Things are costing more and more these days, from technology, the buses, everything is expensive, and so that I think equates for an expensive levy.
Issue 5 is a 10-year $6.67 million levy, which would raise $15,700,000 for Toledo schools. It will go to providing for the emergency requirements of the school district. Issue 6 is a 5-year $5.8 million levy, which would raise $13 million for operating costs and permanent improvements. The district stresses that the levies are up for renewal and will not be a new tax or increase.
Because when somebody looks at the school districts, and if they're down, your property taxes will go down, but your value of your house goes down.
TPS says it will not put more issues on the ballot until 2022 if these issues pass. I'm Bailey Lustig for UT 10 News.
Students affected by the recent fire at University Circle Apartments are in desperate need of household items, clothing, and more. Sarah Clark, director of the Center for International Students and Programs, says 38 of the residents have already requested help. 7 of those students lost everything.
They lost their clothing and all. They lost their documents, which was one of the most important things for an international student.
A survey was conducted to determine what items students lost and are now in need of. Donations can be dropped off at the Center for International Students and Programs located in Snyder Memorial. If you'd like to donate to the cause, visit our website, ut10news.com. There you can find a full list of items that are needed.
The Centers for Disease Control reports 80,000 people died from the flu in the 2017-2018 flu season.
Because so many are at risk, UT is offering free flu shots to students and faculty. The shot will be given by nursing students and certified nurses across campus. The CDC says the #1 way to prevent getting the flu is getting the flu shot. Other measures include washing your hands, avoiding touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and covering your mouth using a tissue when you cough or sneeze.
Because the flu each year is a potentially dangerous disease and it can lead to hospitalization or death.
To find out exact dates and locations of the flu shot clinics, check out UT10news.com. According to a 2018 report by the Hope Center, more than a third of 43,000 university students surveyed said they went hungry at some point prior to taking part in that study. As many college students struggle with hunger, UT continues to tackle the problem by offering resources such as the UT Student Food Pantry and Meal Swipe donations.
They might have an exam the next day. They don't want to worry about where their meal is coming from that night.
Meal swipes can also be donated either to the pantry or to go towards restocking the bank of meals where students can redeem the swipes upon request.
Given the harsh political climate in our nation, UT is inspiring students of all races to become stronger advocates for change. The Students of Color Summit was held in the Student Union on Friday, where students can enjoy breakfast and become aware of how to voice their opinions in an effort to make a difference. With so much political vitriol being spewed today, organizers want students to understand they have a voice and can use it to change the nation and the world.
We want to empower our students, so we are empowering them today so that they can lead tomorrow.
Students were taught how to be themselves, but also make sure they understand how to create an image of professionalism.
I'm Reed Teetsorth, and this is your UT10 Sports Report. The Walleye took the ice against Fort Wayne on Saturday, but first, the UT volleyball team played two crucial MAC matches. On Friday, the Rockets went the distance with Western Michigan at Savage Arena. The Broncos got off to a hot start with the hitting of Sammy LeBoul as she splits the Rocket defense with this kill. The Broncos went on to take the first set 25-16. But the Rockets would respond nicely. Toledo took 6 of the first 7 points in the second set, including this dominant kill by Emma Swope. The Broncos would narrow the margin, but this kill by Zoe Burnbridge would put the Rockets on top 25-23. The third set was the LeBoul show yet again, as the middle hitter shows good awareness here to find the open court, sparking a Broncos run to take the third set 25-14. But it was all Toledo to finish the match. Chloe Klespies was back on the attack to ignite a 25-20 fourth set comeback. In the deciding set, the Rockets would secure a close victory on this match point bomb by Chloe Klespies, as Toledo would take the match 3-2.
As a team and as our culture, showed a lot of character tonight, and in a fifth set it can go any way, and when we needed to, we made big plays.
The Rockets were back at Savage Arena Saturday evening against Northern Illinois. The Huskies used help from senior Crystal McAlpin to take the first set 25-20. Toledo showed fight in the second set yet again, scoring on a kill here from Alexis Falzone. With the match even at 1 set apiece, the Huskies took control, winning the third 25-16. NIU finished the match on this absolute smash by Brinley Milbrath, taking the match 3-1. The Walleye finally played their first home game on Saturday night in front of a record crowd. 8,063 were in attendance for the Huntington Center's first puck drop of the 2018-19 season. The Fish opened the scoring 7 minutes in with a slap shot by TJ Hensick. Later in the first, Comet's JC Campagna ripped this wrist shot high glove side by Pat Nagel. Onto the second period, Fort Wayne's Mark Oliver Roy made this goal look easy off a beautiful centering pass from Justin Hodgman. Toledo responded on the power play as Shane Birschbach would even the score at 2. Now things got interesting here in the third. The Comets had a chance to take the lead on a penalty shot, but couldn't get this slap shot past Pat Nagel. Moments later, Toledo's Hunter Smith snaps one top shelf to seal the victory. Toledo wins 3-2. That's it for sports. Back to you guys.
That's it for UT10 News.
For Kaylee Loofborough, Reed Teetsorth, and all of our crew, I'm Rachel Schneider. Have a great week and stay tuned for more news from the UT campus.